How will Ed Woodward be remembered? Well, it's an interesting question. Sadly for him, maybe he'll be remembered as executive vice chairman who oversaw 9 years of basically no title, which is the holy grail for Manchester United. When Sir Alex Ferguson left in 2013, United were the champions.
Is Ed Woodward and the hierarchy at Old Trafford the problem?
100%.
And they haven't been since. He'll also be remembered for overseeing a very turbulent sort of 8 or 9 years. Transfer policy was all askew. I mean, for me, his first summer in charge, which was summer 2013, when David Moyes came in as Ferguson's replacement, he never really recovered from that summer because they only got one player in, a player called Marouane Fellaini, who is a good player, obviously, but not really of Manchester United standard, and that was it. And having covered that whole summer, Bull Guardian, there was all sorts of things that went on. On the positive side, he will be, or I think he should be remembered for the sort of last 2 or 3 years when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer came in and he basically tried to really sort out a lot of the issues I just mentioned. So they got together a coherent transfer policy in which, it's going to sound like common sense, but players were brought in who fitted a United way of playing, which is sort of fast attacking, attractive football. The squad of players now is 2 or 3 really top class, let's say, midfielders and a centre back away from, I would say, being proper squad like Manchester City's or Liverpool. That's down to him. It wasn't like that 2 or 3 years ago. No, basically under Solskjaer, the sort of 2 or 3 summers he had in charge of transfers, or he was the manager, they really sorted it out. So that I think is a massive plus point for him. So Ed Woodward's lowest points, I'd have to include each time he sacked a manager. So that's David Moyes after 34 games, Louis van Gaal after they won the FA Cup, basically the next day, 2016. Jose Mourinho, only a few months after he signed a new 2 or 3 year contract. That's sort of December 2018. And then Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in November of this season. So that's 4 managers basically that didn't work under his sort of reign, who he'd appointed. The European Super League as well.
I mean, I'm a Manchester United fan and have been for 40 years of my life, but I'm disgusted, absolutely disgusted.
It's a disgrace.
If Ed Woodward has been part of that regime for the last 15 years, he doesn't care about the fans either.
Was farcical generally and was not great for Woodward, but what I would say is he actually resigned as a point of honour. So I actually think that was a high point in a way. You can have all the arguments you like about whether they should, United should have signed up to the European Super League, but basically it did not sit well with him, the anti-competitive nature of the ESL, in that, United is one of the 12 founder clubs at that time, wouldn't have to be promoted to it, they'd always be in it, and he actually resigned because he couldn't square that with himself. So I actually thought that was one of his high points. So maybe the most important thing to sort of think about with regard to Ed Woodward's legacy is that, yes, he himself would admit that he failed because Manchester United did not win another title, but it wasn't for want of trying. He's a Manchester United fan, I know that. He really cares about the club and he understands a lot of the criticism. He's a big enough man, human being, sort of person to understand the criticism. But if you ask me, was it a success? I'd have to say no, because not only did they not win the title, they never got really close at all. They were never real challengers, and that can't be great. 9 years, they spend a hell. No matter what people think, the Glazers do spend a heck of a lot of money. I'm pretty sure they're the biggest net transfer spends in Woodward's time. The money was there, it was just spent wrongly, basically.